All right, kid, come on. You ain't driving. You ain't driving. Not yet. Come on. Ah, let's go. All right. We got the pups playing in the snow. Getting out the Kioti Tractor. Got the snow plow hooked up. Like I think I've given a little overview of that already. So just gonna do a little bit of plowing with my plowing sidekick. Had the tractor in here warming up, so nice and toasty cab. Could use a cleaning. All right. Kid likes to drive, so we're gonna let him. Whew. All toasty in here, how about? They're gonna start sweating. This little Kioti Tractor, you know, it's definitely not the John Deere Kubota name, but I did a lot of comparisons on, you know, what I was worried about was its actual capabilities for its size. You know, do I want a bigger tractor? Of course. But do I need one? Probably not for what I do with this. Luckily for me, for some of our bigger farm stuff like baling hay and things like that, my dad does have a tractor, a bigger tractor that I use. But around the farm here, it's nice to have a smaller one, get in and out of the pastures for brush hogging the pastures and things like that. But like I said, I was looking for capacity. I was looking for lift capacity. I was looking for a little bit heavier weight. Horsepower, 35 horse, running like a six foot brush hog is probably, you know, or a 5 foot rototiller is probably the biggest items I've really had to use this for. But one of the big things I liked or wanted was lift capacity for a smaller tractor. And I go through our spreadsheet, which I'll do a separate video, just kind of going over my comparison spreadsheet. This was a few years ago, but comparing this to John Deere, Kubota, Yanmar, Mahindra, everything out there, this tractor, you know, kind of blew them out of the water. I mean, I think Mahindra gets close, and I get it, you know, it's not the name, but they say to buy, you know, a tractor from where you have dealer support. And there's a Kioti dealership right down the street from me. I haven't needed it yet. I mean, I got 335 hours on this. I have only had one issue, and that was when I was trying to rake hay with this. The drive shaft from the back to the front is exposed, and that's definitely a weak point. There are little bolt holes for what looks like could be a shield you could add, but it allowed the hay to get wrapped all up in the shaft and actually penetrated the seal and ripped apart my seal. So that was a pain. I got a new seal, popped it in. It's probably an hour job, but no big deal. But like I said, the size of this tractor, its capacities, I mean, the lift capacity on this 35 horse compact tractor is 1,800 pounds. I went and got a standard, it's got the standard skid loader attachment, but I got a standard skid steer bucket for it. You know, the one that comes with it's a little bit small, which it's nice for grading and maybe cutting in driveways and things like that. But for moving manure, which is what I do probably the most with the front end loader on this, I definitely needed a bigger bucket, because that small bucket I could put as much in it as possible, and it really didn't matter. Never challenged it, but now I got a skid steer bucket for it, which is, I think it's like 5 foot wide, but I mean, just how big and tall it is and how much more, yeah, I would say probably, you know, what is a wheelbarrow is like I think it's a quarter or a third yard, but it's probably a half a yard bucket, I would say. And it works great. You know, I don't ever get tippy. It's a little bit more weight on the front than you'd want typically. You know, I'm careful when I'm turning to, I'm not messing up my wheels. I try to take it easy. But I mean, the price on this thing compared to a Kubota or a John Deere, and then it also has more capacity than both of those, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. It's got a Daewoo engine, which is in everything. You know, I think they're in John Deere's, they're in Yanmar. So I don't think I'll have issues with the motor. I've heard electrical issues before, but I haven't experienced it. So, I mean, I've been real happy with this tractor so far. And to spend an extra 10 grand, you know, I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around there. 10 grand for a Kubota or a John Deere is not worth it. And you're getting like a 12 to 1,500 pound capacity for lifting in comparison to the 1,800 that I get on this. I mean, to me, it's pretty much common sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to buy a tractor for the name if capacities and what you're going to use it for are less. You know, I love John Deere, I love Kubota. I get it. You know, they've been around for a long time. They've got the name for a reason. Resale value's probably better. But you know, at the time, it was initial cost that kind of made me go this direction. And I really don't regret it. You know, the only thing I do regret, I wish I would have gotten the size bigger, just the one size bigger. Maybe like I think it's DK models, DK 55, I want to say, or a DK 40. The horsepower isn't really the problem. It's just the, you know, they're made a little heavier, things like that. Maybe down the road I'll look to upgrade. I mean, when we got this tractor, we were buying all the equipment for the farm to keep this thing open. I mean, I've lived on a farm my whole life, but I didn't own anything. You know, I moved to the city there for a little bit, so I really didn't have any equipment. So we got this farm, you know, and we've been kind of buying pieces of equipment here and there. You know, it's a huge expense to just come in and think you can afford to just buy all new everything. I mean, it's been a long road getting everything that we have. I mean, we've been here since 2017, just kind of compiling all the equipment we need. And you know, you never really have everything you want. You always want something more. You always want to make your life a little easier, but this thing's been a huge help. And you know, I've got the third function, which this tractor I would highly recommend. I definitely got to do a cleaning job. Don't worry about that. But I'll probably get in the summer. But some of them have the controls right up here. You know, it's just not as easy in my opinion to operate. So it's nice to have it built in. This is the higher end model with the cab, but it's got it right on this stick here. And then you got the third function keys here, which allow you to use your bucket. And then also I've got a clamp bucket for it, and it allows you to clamp. I mean, that clamp bucket it's wow, just how much easier life is when you got a clamp bucket. You don't have to be out there grabbing tree limbs and things like that, throwing it into a bed or taking it to your dump pile, throw it in a side-by-side. You just clamp it with a bucket, move it around. You know, you've got a lot of trees that fall around here. I'm constantly trying to clear up paths for four-wheelers or for horse trails, and that functionality is worth it. And the deal I got on this tractor, you could get, I think it was 3 attachments, or you could swap 2 attachments for the third function, and I did that. So instead of getting 3 attachments, I got what did I get? I got the forks, and which were a real cheap set of forks. I already bent the heck out of them. Or I got the forks, and then I got the third function, and then I ended up, I think I paid for one of those, was the clamp bucket, which has been great. It's like a root type clamp bucket. I mean, this tractor isn't big enough to take down any trees, but it having the clamp function is nice, and then cleaning up debris is real nice. So, but just plugging along, trying to get the drive cleaned up. I mean, I'm doing it pretty much one hand. Waylon's, you know, pretty easy to deal with when he's on a tractor. He's at home. He's in his happy place, huh? Just like Mom says, Daddy's in his happy place when he's on his tractor. But he's pretty much chill out and has fun. It's not a toy, it's work equipment. I try to tell my wife, but she don't believe me. I mean, I plowed most of this yesterday. We didn't get much more snow last night, so more or less just want to clean it up, and just in case we got borders coming. It's a little cold today. I think it's like 13, 14 degrees this morning. It's rising, but